Wow. Yeah, the Cowboys won a game. I wasn't expecting them to win, but that's okay. Um, that's good. um, yeah, this is something that I think a lot of us were not expecting, but knowing how the ebbs and flows of the Cowboys, this isn't really a surprise. Yeah, so your Cowboys are victorious. First win of the year, 20-17 versus Cincinnati. Um, This is like the third year in a row where we've had a week two decided by a last minute kick and a last second kick more specifically. This was a very impressive win for the circumstances surrounding the Cowboys, so I must give their applause there. And, there are things we can work on, and we'll touch up on that later in this video. But if you want to like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell, do whatever the hell you want. Yes, I understand that this is a late recap, but I've been really busy. And on top of that, I wanted to digest what I saw because I think it's important that I review what exactly we're looking at because I want to keep an eye out on it in the next game. So, let's start off with how the game went. So the Cowboys started off strong out of the gate, and they were up 17-3 in the first half. It was all of them, and it really felt like they just needed one more score to really put this, this whole game on ice. They didn't, and what's really tough is that their offense did them no favors. Kellen Moore, with the help of Mike McCarthy, and I'm going to get into that in just a second, slowed down very much so in the third. Now, there were plays like Dalton Schultz's fumble. There was a play that was deflected that would have given us a first down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the screen that was set up for Lamb. If it wasn't deflected, Lamb had a route for a first down. It was a really nice designed play. I'm just going to say that. Let's just keep it real. A couple plays here and there where I was confused about, but the Cowboys defense made a key stop. Trevon Diggs, listen, I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I know the guy hasn't gotten an interception yet. We're 2 games into the goddamn season. Look, you got to make up your mind. Like, if you are going to get on Trevon Diggs for giving up all those yardage, then you got to give him his props here. And that's something that bugs me is that I'm still saying, he hasn't gotten a turnover yet. He can't tackle. Yet he makes this game-saving tackle that gives the Cowboys the win. And I think that you saw the energy, like when Diggs made that tackle, that whole defense was hyped up. And that's huge. Brett Maher, man, listen, this guy is doing his thing. Now, again, you haven't had to rely on him a whole lot. He has made 3 kicks for you, and he's made all the extra points. He's done everything that you've done when you asked of him. You're not asking him to do it at such a high volume. Now, I'm not expecting him hit every single kick. I mean, I hope. But he made the key ones. He made the one that won you the game. Dude, that thing looked like a howitzer. Like, I honestly thought he could have made that from 70 if he tried. Maybe I'm being too optimistic there, but dude, that thing could have gone the distance. So it's really good to have that asset for your team, to have a guy that has a really, strong leg. Now, what worries me is sometimes when it hooks off. That's something I remember from Maher as I clean my glasses here. But the main thing is that we as fans have to be excited about this one. Okay, you won a game you weren't expected to, and this is the hardest game you had. Now, that doesn't give you a guarantee that you're going to win the next game. Listen, the Cowboys win this, give this high emotional game, and they disappoint in the next game. Listen, I know how this thing goes, but I want to make this clear. I think that the Cowboys, if you can come out of these next 2 games with a win, you're in good business, and I'm going to talk about that. Well, now we go over the offense, defense, and special teams, okay? So, offensively, Cooper Rush did exactly what I wanted him to do. Just facilitate the offense, don't do anything stupid, and he nearly did a couple things stupid. He nearly turned the ball over maybe like 4 or 5 times last time I saw, but he did enough to get you the job done. Now, your running game. They gotta stop. Like, when I see Zeke getting into a rhythm, they take him out. When I see Pollard getting into a rhythm, they take him out. Run with the hot hand. Stop doing this shit where you're literally in a moment where I'm seeing Zeke getting warm and he's doing his thing, and then you're like, okay, I gotta put Pollard in. Stop that shit. Yes, he got over 100 yards in this game, and Pollard was very effective and was extremely efficient. Zeke, Not as efficient as the first game, but then again, I really don't give a shit. There were plays where I'm like, why are you running this with Zeke? Like there was a toss play that Schultz whiffed on the block, and I'm like, why the hell are you doing that with Zeke? Zeke's north-south. Yeah, sure you can run him outside, but listen, you did your thing there, and I want to go to the wide receivers. Noah Brown, man, listen. I loved what he did in this game, and I think him and Cooper Rush did a fantastic job moving this ball. I mean, when Noah Brown had the ball thrown, every single target he caught, I believe, which is impressive. I think he had 7 targets, 7 catches, something like that, and almost 100 yards and a touchdown. You know, finally he gets his first NFL touchdown, which is great. And I'm really excited because I think Noah Brown, I think, has made a case, hey, you know what, I could stay in the starting rotation, but that doesn't really bode well for guys like Jalen Tolbert down the road when Michael Gallup come back and James Washington. But Noah Brown's really making a case, hey, listen, man, I'm here to stay. Keep me on this freaking roster, or rather, keep me in this starting rotation. Because he's earned it right now. I mean, we'll see how things go on down the road, but Noah Brown's been looking really good. Now, CeeDee Lamb, he had a much better game. He caught more balls thrown his way. He had 11 targets, 7 catches, I believe, and 70-something yards, but he made clutch catches. And that's what's important, is that I get it. I want to see more from CeeDee Lamb, but at the end of the day, look, he did his job. He made the key catches, and so did Noah Brown, and that's all I asked for. Dalton Schultz, pretty disappointing game, if I'm going to be real with you. I don't know how the injury is going to shape up, but at this point, if I'm Dalton Schultz, you better hope that Jake Ferguson doesn't do good if you miss playing time, because now you're giving the Cowboys an out, and you know, hey, we don't have to pay you anymore, which unfortunately that looks like to be the case. O-line, listen, Tyler Smith, I know I said that I, didn't like the pick because of where you took him. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him, and I'm glad to be wrong on that. I'm going to tell you that 110%. Oh, Space Cowboy, you didn't like the pick. Yeah, I get it. I understand that. I own up to that. And the Sam Williams pick, still got to see a little bit more because I know I was a bit down on that. But again, Tyler Smith, I think that with what you have right now, listen, I don't care what anybody says. You should put him back at guard for at least this season when Jason Peters is ready to go at left tackle. I think that you put your best starting 5 out there. Now Tyler Biadasz, he had a decent game. I think he could have done better. He wasn't as good as the first game from what I saw in the tapes and stuff like that, but still solid. Terrence Steele played a lot better in this game. Zach Martin played a lot better. Matt Farniak, he's doing his thing. Okay, I think they, for what you're getting, solid, but I think that the Cowboys need to make a decision with Tyler Smith after this year. I think that you have to make a decision of, am I playing this guy at left tackle or am I playing him at left guard? And to be honest with you, it's just this is his second game, guys, and I'm okay with what you want to do there, but I think that for the best interest of the team, to keep your quarterback and really to make your offense flow very well, I think you need to play him at left guard. But the Cowboys' offensive line, no real complaints. You only let up 1 sack. But in terms of some aspects of it, we could do better. But I think that as the season goes on and once Peters gets into the lineup, I think you have a contingency plan now. And I think that that's good. I think I covered the offense. Yeah, I covered the entire offense. So game balls for the offense. Cooper Rush, Noah Brown. You guys did a fantastic job. I think that you were one of the primary reasons we won on offense. You kept the ball moving. Cooper Rush, I'm getting the game ball because of the fact of how he didn't fuck up the game. Defensively, listen, man, this Cowboys defense is really doing its thing. I know people are saying, oh, it's just the Bengals. Oh, it doesn't matter. The Cowboys did their thing against the Bengals, okay, defensively speaking. Jamar Chase was held in check for how good of a receiver he was. T. Higgins, you tried your best to hold him in there. And, you really did a good job. You sacked Burrow 6 times, I believe. Micah got 2 sacks. He now leads the league with 4 sacks. So, again, he's on pace. I think he's on pace for 34 sacks. So, if I'm the Cowboys or if I'm Micah Parsons, as long as you keep getting sacks, I think that he can make a play for Defensive Player of the Year. And that's not even a hot take. I think I said that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. But Micah Parsons, I love him. He's amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of my team. I love the fact that my guy is on my team, and I'm just can't believe it. He's just unbelievable. He's now setting records of getting the most sacks in certain periods of time. I think he's the fastest player to get to 17 sacks or something like that, but I don't care. Micah Parsons is doing unbelievable things. Dorrance Armstrong, awesome. 2 sacks. Dante Fowler, I believe he got a sack too. And LV got a sack as well. I mean, listen, you really got to Burrow. You bullied him. And listen, man, Micah could have had a lot more. He should have had a fumble recovery. If I'm being real with you, he should have. But they called that back. Or they said it was Mixon's, which is stupid. But what else? Noah Brown. Anthony Brown had a solid game. Diggs. He had some hiccups, but he did make the key plays. The run defense could do a little bit better. I like what I saw from Bohanna. I'm going to be honest. I think that there's still more to be done there. I'm trying to think. Donovan Wilson, got to give a huge shout out to him. He had one of his best games, if not his best game today. I mean, he was all over the place. LVE had an alright game in terms of what he was doing. He looked a bit slow to me, but otherwise, the defense did their job. Listen, man, you held this team to 17 points, and your offense scored enough points to win. So, like, I think the Cowboys formula right now, think about it. No points, no 20-plus points yet, which I'm assuming will change soon. But, yeah, the Cowboys did a fantastic job defensively. You held them in check, really. That final drive, like, you couldn't. Yes, I get it. They scored and they let up the extra point. I understand that, but the thing is like you literally made the Bengals just milk that clock so much to where really they couldn't do anything towards the end. Special teams, Maher. Applause to the front office for adding Maher here. Maher's been proving me wrong, and I'm glad that I'm wrong there. Brian Anger, he's doing his thing. Cavante Turpin had a nice little return in the game, but otherwise, nothing too much. So, with that out of the way, I mean, defensive game balls, Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs. You can throw out, literally, you can say everybody else, but I think those are your 2 guys there. And, if I'm like, who's the biggest game winner here, I think it's Brett Maher, man. Like, he came in when you needed him the most, and that's what I respect. And, yeah. So, next, we have the Giants on deck. Or, the Giants up next. And the Washington Commanders on deck. So, I don't care about the Commanders right now. It's all about the Giants. So, brief little thought process here. Okay? This is not going to be an easy game, guys. I don't care what anybody says this. It's the Monday Night Football game. And if you're watching this game, I'll be watching it. I'm pretty sure all you guys are going to be watching. What am I saying? The one thing I can tell you is that this game is going to be difficult. The Giants are not going to be a layover team that we've seen in years past with them with Joe Judge and Ben McAdoo. This is a team that has been resilient. Space Cowboy, look at that. I understand. Like, I understand that people are apprehensive. I am too. I think even if they start out 3-0, I'm still a bit apprehensive until I can see how things go. I think if I'm the Cowboys, the blueprint is you make Daniel Jones try to beat you. That's the game plan. Do not let Saquon Barkley run loose on you. Just let Daniel Jones try to beat you. If he beats you, cool, and that's fine with me. But, again, I think that's the game plan. The Giants have given up 8 sacks in the past 2 games. 5 in the first game. I think 3 in this game against Carolina. So there definitely is opportunity to attack. The Giants do have a nice defense. They got a nice little pass rush there. They're no slouch, okay? We got to remember that. The Giants are not going to be an easy team to beat. However, let me just put you into perspective. The Cowboys won a game that they were not supposed to win, and they're underdogs again, and not saying that that means anything. But the thing is you got the hardest game out of the way with the Bengals, in my opinion. That doesn't mean the Giants are going to be easy or Washington's going to be easy. My point of view is this. If you win one of the next 2 games, and Dak comes back for that Rams game. Or hell, if you are 3-2 or 2-2 by the time Dak comes back, I'm okay with that, guys. Like, I really am. Yes, I see what's going on in Philly. Props to you. Cool. Congratulations. I'm I see everybody's talking about that, and I saw a lot of Cowboys fans talking about it, but I don't care. Hey, listen, we'll see what happens in Week 6. But, If I'm the Cowboys, this is what I honestly think needs to happen. If you win the next game, rest Dak for the Commanders game. I would say you rest Dak until you lose, well, until you have more than 3 losses. That's fine with me. I think that that's a fair indication until he's fully healthy. Now, I don't think that the Cowboys are being truthful with how bad the injury is, but if the doctors say, listen, Dak is A-okay, he's 100%, because these thumb injuries can vary, because I know with Drew Brees, it took him a couple weeks. I think it took him like 4 or 5 weeks. I think Jared Goff had a thumb thing. It took him like a week maybe. I don't know, but do not rush Dak Prescott back. I'm telling you, there's no need to rush him back, especially if you win this game. I think I'll have to see how the rest of the week goes. I know that Wednesday, because today's Tuesday now, when you're seeing this video, I'm going to be looking at Giants tape, what they do good, what they do, but because I'll be honest, I was watching a couple of the highlights, not saying that that's impressive. The Giants don't really scare me. I mean, I'm not really caring about this next game, but I want you Cowboys fans to understand something. The one thing that I'm worried about is what we did in this game will not translate to the next game. Mike McCarthy, stay in Kellen Moore's playbook or start, scripted plays. You need to do well. This is going to be our first road game. It's going to be on a national television. Listen, I'm going to be completely real with you, right? The Cowboys, I don't care what anybody says. The Cowboys have little to no expectations to win this game again, from what I'm seeing in the early goings. And I'm not trying to say no BS. That's literally what I'm saying. And I think that if I'm real, the Giants, I think, have the pressure on them. You have your quarterback. You have pretty much your roster there. If you can't beat this team of in Dallas that has a backup quarterback they're sporting, I mean, I don't know. You got to keep doing what we did from this game. You have a formula. You really do. If Dak comes back, Kellen Moore has to stop being arrogant with the play calling, and that's something that I'm worried about. Is he thinks, okay, I have this guy, I can be arrogant with the play. Oh, Space Cowboy, you paying him all this money. I don't care. You got a formula to win games. I don't care if Dak throws just 100 yards and a touchdown. If he's being extremely efficient and we're winning games, yeah, sure, I don't care. You're doing it with your backup quarterback. I don't care if you throw a couple wrinkles in there with your starting quarterback, but yeah. And for the crowd that's saying Cooper Rush should be the starting quarterback, shut the fuck up. You really had a game where Kellen Moore, Cooper Rush, and Kellen Moore nearly threw this game away for you because of how many interceptions he nearly threw. If Dak Prescott was playing like that, I would have been seeing the same crowd bitching about it. But guess what? He won you the game. Did he turn the ball over? No, luckily. But hey, I'm happy Cooper Rush did his thing, man. I think as long as he's playing fine and you're winning games, there's no reason to rush Dak Prescott back. But he isn't playing that well to be yeah, you don't need Dak anymore. So, with that being said, guys, the Giants are up next. I'll catch you guys in the next video, which will be the preview. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to just let this marinate for a bit longer until we get to Giants week starting up tomorrow and Thursday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and peace.